on to it. Turn your sheet over. We're going to be on the mixed side today. These are problems off your assignment today. Your assignment today is the mixed side all. Actually, you know what? Let's change that. The assignment today is going to be the mixed side 7 through 30. So you can cross out 1 through 6. We'll actually cover that in 9-5. It's a pretty easy piece to cover. But for now, let's go mixed side 7 through 30. Okay. We're going to do number 13. We're going to graph 4 graphs together. Okay. So right now, take a look at 13 on some of the graph paper you picked up on the way in. If you didn't grab 2 sheets of graph paper on the way in, you'll need 2. You can grab the other one after we're done with instruction here, or if you finish the graph early. But okay, so yesterday we were given the period, okay, and we were asked to graph. Today, you're going to be given an equation where you're going to have to pick out A and B and calculate the period, or you'll be given A and the period, or possibly A and B, and you're going to be asked to graph. So this first one, we're given an equation. I want you to tell your neighbor what A and B are. Very good. A is what? 2. And B is?
1.
A is 1. It's the number in front of theta, which in this case is 1. Okay? Now, tell your neighbor what A stands for, or means, or tells us, I guess.
So it could be positive.
Okay, so what is A?
No.
Raise your hand, please, Colton. Yeah, it's the absolute value of your amplitude, right? Or the absolute value of A is your amplitude. So in this case, it's 2. Okay? And what's B?
1, because it's the number in front of theta.
What does B represent? Rocky? The number of cycles from 0 to 2 pi. Okay? All right, I want everyone to graph that then. Remember, use your pattern. 0 max, 0 min, 0. Let's go ahead and get someone up here and graph it. Bring your own pencil. Mine always disappear when I leave them up there. I put mine in. Yes, the last person that disappeared was my son. It's ridiculous. Okay? Here we go. Someone go up and graph it. Label it.
My legs are tired. Your lives are tired. Yeah. Yeah, I hurt me.
What?
I
forgot to label the middle 0, but yes.
I thought you were never going to get a girl. So you said yourself.
Mr. McCoy.
He doesn't get that I have 12 lines.
Mr. McCoy.
You're like a cat, but wrong. 13 is Gallifrey.
No,
Carter, I said you're like a cat, but better.
All right.
Do you remember how to solve for electrostatic potential energy?
Oh, what?
No.
I don't have an
What
eraser.
is electrostatic potential energy?
Physics.
What were you expecting the answer to be? Oh, dude, I mastered.
Well, he said he remembered physics. So.
When people say they remember the subject matter, it doesn't mean they remember the entire subject matter.
You guys will enjoy this. Very mathy. Fun. All right, let's go through it. Thank you, Josh. Okay. Hey, everyone, take a look at it. On the y-axis, this, if you don't put a scale here, I'm assuming you're going up by 1. So in this case, 2 to -2. Very good. We have 0, max, 0, min, 0. We only should see 1 cycle. That's good. This is 2 pi. I want you to label all zeros. So this one's 0 and this one is? Pi. Okay? Very good. Well done, Josh. Any questions? Okay. They're going to get a little more complex. Let's try the next one, number 14. Give it a go. You may want to list what A and B are first. May help you out. At least what your amplitude and your period are, or your number of cycles are. Okay, what's our amplitude going to be in this? It's going to be 2, right? A is negative 2. But that just tells us the graph opens downward. Our amplitude will be 2. So if that confuses you, you may write amp there, just to remember. What's B? 4, which means we're going to see
1/4 of the graph.
we're going to see 4 cycles from 0 to 2 pi. We're going to see 4 repetitions of this graph. Bless you. And make sure you read what you're supposed to do here. Okay? So 4 repetitions.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to graph using a pencil. My other class would be pleased, as would be Mr. Kolstad, my high school math teacher.
You talked to Mr. Kolstad in technical?
Huh? Why? Are you going to try to hold this against me? Oh, you know what? What am I doing wrong?
You're doing more than one cycle.
You need to do 4 cycles. What am I doing wrong? I have to go downward. This is ridiculous. I got distracted. If I don't blame usually. However, if I were to blame,
It would be Hayden.
yeah, I'd blame someone. Okay? Last period I blamed someone. I did blame Brooks last period, so sorry. Sorry, Brooks, if you're listening.
Blame Carter. If you blame me for anything, Aiden, I will actually do it.
So there's 1 cycle.
Blame.
No, I'm not going to blame. There's 2 cycles. Do not get Sharpie on my desk. There's 3 cycles. You're going to be scrubbing all desks at lunch. Okay, that's not what we... Hey, wait for science. Okay? That's where you dissect things. Hey, Hayden, put it away.
This is why we can't have that.
Why do you have a Sharpie here?
You took that from me.
I don't know.
Put it away. Okay, so we have 4 cycles because B is 4. Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
I thought we were only supposed to draw 1 cycle and then we were just going to label the zeros of the 1 cycle.
No, so sketch it from 0 to 2 pi.
Oh. But then it says on the left 0, max 0, min 0.
Right. That's your pattern you're using.
cycle.
That is 1 cycle.
I understand.
That is good.
Okay. So, how do we know what to label our zeros? Unless I got my 1 cycle, 2 cycles, 3 cycles, and there's 4. How do I know what to label my zeros?
You just divide it by 8 and count down.
What he said.
On 0.
Colin? Good. Yeah, your B is from 0 to 2 pi, so 2 pi would be at the end. Well done. So this is 2 pi. How does that help me? Good. Then you can cut it in half. The middle one would be pi. Well done. And then we could cut that in half. Half of pi is pi over 2, and we can keep cutting in half. Half of pi over 2 is pi over 4. And half of pi over 4 is pi over 8. Now, we don't really need to label this one. However, that's what we're going up by, is pi over 8. Does everyone understand how we did that? Okay, that's a key piece. We have to be able to set that. Yeah? I can zoom in a tiny bit. You're welcome. Woohoo! Except for now it's unzoomable on the sides. Unfocusable. Hold on. We'll use the Carter approach.
See if that works again.
If it works, then I blame Carter. Not that I'm going to blame anyone. Good job, Carter.
Yes,
All right.
Good blame.
Yeah. So, once again, we know that there are 4, that since B is 4, there are 4 cycles from 0 to 2 pi. You cut it in half. So this is, the end is 2 pi, cut it in half, that's pi. Cut it in half again, that's pi over 2. half again, that's pi over 4, half again, that's pi over 8. That tells us what we're going up by every time. It's pi over 8, so 1 pi over 8, 2 pi over 8, or pi over 4, 3 pi over 8, 4 pi over 8, or pi over 2, 5 pi over 8, 6 pi over 8, or
2 pi over 3. No, wait, no.
Pi over 6.
3 pi over 4.
3 pi over 4. So, hey guys, here's the deal. If I get another pause like that, that means I don't have any attention. I am done, and you guys are figuring this out using your own means. Okay? Okay, so it's 6 pi over 8, 7 pi over 8, 8 pi over 8, or
Pi.
9 pi over 8, 10 pi over 8, or 5 pi over 4, 11 pi over 8, or and 12 pi over 8, or 6 pi over 4, also known as 3 pi over 2. Okay, so that was, what were we at there? 12,
Yeah, 12.
13, 14 pi over 8, or
7 pi over 4.
7 pi over 4, 15 pi over 8, and 16 pi over 8, or 2 pi. Everyone rate themselves 1 to 5. You get how to say your scale like that. Because that's gonna be a key piece. Okay? Huge. As we're going through. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that again here in a minute, but let's go. Any questions on this? Yeah, Rocky. Okay, let me go through it one more time. B is 4, right?
Right.
So that means we have 4 cycles from 0 to 2 pi.
Right.
So we know that the end is 2 pi.
Right.
So from there, we're able to take that as 2 pi. Halfway from 0 to 2 pi is pi.
Mm-hmm.
And halfway from 0 to pi is pi over 2.
Right.
And halfway from 0 to pi over 2 is pi over 4. And halfway from 0 to pi over 4 is pi over 8.
Okay.
And by doing that, we're able to figure out what one line is, and then we just count by 8s. Okay? All right. Very good. Any other questions? Let's try the next one. This is number 22. It does not tell you how far to sketch it. Okay, so let's go 0 to 2 pi on all of our graphs today. Okay? 0 to 2 pi. What's that? I want you guys to graph that. Yeah. Give it a go. Okay, guys. Hey, this one's a bit different, right? They give us the period. The period is the length of a cycle. They haven't told you how many cycles. You have to calculate that. You know the amplitude. The amp is 1, right? The period, well, the period is pi. So B, what's the formula to find B?
2 pi over p.
Yeah, 2 pi over p. Okay. So Alicia, what did you get for that?
I got 2.
Yeah. So we get 2 pi over pi, which gives us a b term of 2. That means there are going to be two cycles from 0 to 2 pi. That make more sense? Okay? So when we go through and graph this, we should be there's one cycle. I want someone to come up and finish that and label the zeros, please. Okay. If you need help, make sure you stop me as I'm coming around.
Oh, I get it.
It's just 1/2 of the cycle.
Yeah, I was like,
No, at first I thought I was like really confused.
yeah, then I was just like, oh, that's actually really easy. Then you
Pretty much
just
just
do,
going back.
yeah, and then you just do, then you just label it 2 pi and you're good.
I was going to try to go to the play. I'm going to try to
Just finish drawing the line or write in the measurement.
label your zeros.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought you were
But
maybe
somehow
just
we got on
dressing.
the topic. And I said something. She's like,
On purpose?
so it means nothing is
Okay.
Amen.
Whoa, sorry.
No, we don't listen to it.
I don't listen to Tuesdays.
Okay, everyone's right here.
We're here.
Right back here. So two cycles. It's 2 pi. Cut in half pi. Pi over 2. Well done. Any questions on them? All right, ready for the toughest one?
Yes.
The challenge.
So ready.
We're sure we're good on that one?
I feel like it's going to be really easy just to mess with us.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Well,
Okay, there we go.
Oh darn. That's just so hard.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah, you may say that now, but just wait. Here we go. Give it a shot. Okay, some of you thought it was easy. How many got it?
I know.
We have b is 2 pi.
It looked easy.
It's great. So how many? We know our amplitude is 2. Our b is 2 pi. So how many cycles? Raise your hand, please. How many cycles?
2 pi cycles.
Yeah.
2 pi cycles.
Okay, so how many times are we going to see that?
2 pi.
What's that mean? 6.28 times. 2 pi is approximately 6.28. That means we're going to see approximately 6.28 repetitions of this graph. That means you need to repeat it about 6.28 times. So if I'm going through working this out, I'm going to always assume, remember, your y is 1. You're going up by 1s unless you state otherwise. So I'm here, 0, max. Holy moly. There's 1. There's 2. And 3. And 4. Holy cow. 6. I'll just go, just finish it off. I have to go over 6. So. Okay, so get our curve down. Really got to work on the curves there. Who has sensitive hair?
For guys in general compared to girls.
Sensitive hair?
Yeah, because
You mean like it cries easily or something?
Yeah,
Yes.
dude. I can't even sleep at night.
Is that your hair crying?
Yeah, dude. They're all windy.
Kind of
And
disturbing.
his hair under a microscope.
I'm just saying.
Your hair under a microscope is freaking green.
That was
So,
your
You're the Incredible Hulk.
It was your
Okay. Hey, not to interrupt our hair conversation, but
It's getting hairy.
how many got that? Samir, question?
So like radio waves like AM and
I
FM.
can't hear you. The bell's really loud. Go ahead.
So like radio waves like AM and FM. AM is like they're like long waves, and then FM is like short waves. So that's why I can be in like buildings and stuff. So like.
So yeah, so when you're dealing with the sine waves, yeah, you're doing some life application. Man, that's good. That's why you get better reception inside the buildings.
Yeah. So like. I don't know. How does that?
Well, we're gonna have to do you're gonna have to do a lot more studying of sine waves before we dive into frequency waves and stuff. Okay, hey guys, right here, we're not done with this. What do we have to do?
Zeros.
Label our zeros. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to tell your neighbor what this very first. Well, hold on. I'll get the first 0 for you. There, it's 0. Okay, what this 0 is going to be.
Well, I mean, there's
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It may be helpful to figure out what this one is first, since this is one, not one, oh, it is one cycled. What's the length of that called? A period. It may be helpful to find out what P equals. That'll help you figure out what that is. Okay, P is equal to what? What's the formula?
1. Because it's 2 pi over 2 pi.
What's the formula?
2 pi over b.
2 pi over b. So if formula's 2 pi over b, that's 2 pi over 2 pi, which is uno. So a period is 1. So that means this length right here is 1. Now some of you label them there, some will label up there. That's 1. What's this?
1/2.
1/2. What's this? 1.5. Now, what you should be hoping is by the time we get to the end here, this last one better be what?
6.
We're hoping it's 6. Otherwise, we did something wrong. And I'm writing a pin. Mr. Kolstad would not be pleased. If you ever walked into this class, you guys would feel like you know. You'd be like, hey, Mr. Kolstad, what's up? He'd look at you weird. Like, why are you talking? Okay?
Yeah, I get that look all the time.
I get that look when people come.
Yes?
Would that be really right though? Because it's
Two of my life.
0.28.
Oh, good question. Hey, so really, have we actually finished our graph?
No.
Hayden, ask your question again.
So
We have 0.03.
there's 0.28 left. So where does that go?
Well, this length right here,
There's 0.04 or 0.025. So
Good.
we're missing 0.03.
so there's 1/4. So we're actually at 6.25 right here. So let's do this. Here, to make us feel better. All right, good. Now we're done.
Okay, but isn't the 6 2 pi though?
6.28 is 2 pi, approximately 6.28.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we're okay. 6.25, 6.28,
Okay.
give or take. You know. All right. Okay, so here's the question, and this is where some of you'll struggle, and a lot of us are just doing them right now. You're like, oh, I get it, woo, and then you're done. Now remember, we've done this second day of sine. We still have cosine, which is very similar to sine, and then we have tangent, which is not at all similar to sine. And then we're done with the first part of chapter 9, and we move on to the second part of chapter 9. Okay, so yeah. So here's my question. If I give you two equations, sine, y equals sine 2 theta, and y equals sine 2 pi theta. Those are my two equations. I want to know which one is going to have a scale that will go up by single units. So like your zeros would be at single units, or your scale would have units that include the measure of pi. Think back. Now we've done two different types of graphs today. We've had one that looks like this, where when we labeled our zeros, we had pi in it. We had one that looks like this, where when we labeled the scale, we didn't have any pi's in it. Okay? And we have about half of you that are really paying attention, and man, if your neighbor's not paying attention, they don't add this to their notes. Later on, when they ask you for your notes, you just tell them, you say, look, you weren't paying attention, dude. You hold them accountable. Say, look, you were doing something else. You were playing Angry Birds or texting your friends about how cool math is or whatever you're doing. Okay? All right. Go ahead. Tell your neighbor which one's going to work.
The one on the right will give you the...
Which one's going to give you the single? Which one's going to give you pi?
I think we all do that.
Yeah.
Let's get you units of pi's, right? Gets you units of 1. So pi, if pi is in the equation, it will not be in your table that has nice even numbers.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, how many have made their decision? Okay, how many say the one on the left is going to give me units? Just normal units, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, how many say the one on the right is going to give me normal units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so everyone's saying this is just regular units. For instance, 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, okay? And this one then is going to give me units with pi. Is that right? So for instance, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and so on. Everyone agrees with that. Why? Why is that? Connor?
Because in the one on the right, b equals 2 pi, so if you put it into that formula we have, the pi's cancel out and you end up with just the value that you end up with a unit value, which ends up making your graph go by units.
Very good, yeah. Period is 2 pi over b, or 2 pi over 2 pi, so pi's cancel, so you just have regular units. Here, b is 2, and so your period is 2 pi over 2, and in that case, you would have p equaling pi, so you'd have pi in your units. Everyone good on that? Okay, make a note of it. Put it in your notes. It's an important piece. Okay? All right, you guys have your assignment. You're going on. If you need help, make sure you talk to me. If you had questions on yesterday's, talk to me.